Let's be real. Your rifle says more about you than your dating profile ever could. It's not just metal and mechanics, it's personality in firearm form. Every scratched stock, every mod, every trigger pull, that's a peek into your soul. Maybe you're a precision purist. Maybe you just want something that kicks like a mule and looks cool doing it. Or maybe you're the kind of chaos gremlin who duct tapes scopes to SKSs. Either way, today we're calling you out. Kel-Tech RDB. Rocking a Kel-Tech RDB proves you laugh in the face of danger. You bypass the DeVore cult and AUG elitism for a chaotic, good bullpup engineered in a Florida garage during tropical storm season. Every range day is Russian roulette. Will today deliver surgical precision or a 4-hour emergency disassembly live stream? Zero middle ground exists. You flex that downward ejection on Reddit while silently praying your trigger group behaves. You've watched every Kel-Tech disaster compilation and still clicked buy now. When that RDB runs smooth, you're strutting like range royalty. Your friends chose boring reliability while you chose excitement. The guy at the gun counter warned you, but that warning just made you want it more. When someone asks if it runs well, you respond with that knowing smile. In a world of predictable performers, you're the mad scientist still believing in engineering miracles from the Sunshine State. AR-10. Choosing an AR-10 means you voluntarily enrolled in Recoil Management University without reading the syllabus. You glanced at a standard AR-15 and muttered, "Needs more violence." Your shoulder now absorbs punishment that would make lesser shooters weep, and your wallet takes beatings that would make accountants faint. You tell everyone it's for long-range precision work, but your Zero looks like it was configured during an earthquake. Those groupings allegedly tighten at distance, yet your shots at 50 yards spread wider than gossip at a family reunion. Your range sessions end quickly. Not from laziness, but because your ammo budget evaporates faster than spilled beer at a summer cookout. Each trigger pull burns $2 just to feel something real in this increasingly digital world. You didn't choose easy. You chose American Thunder and the privilege of casually using words like terminal ballistics in normal conversation. FNFAL. Rolling up with an FNFAL transforms you from average citizen to walking foreign policy statement. You're not just carrying a rifle, you're shouldering the right arm of the free world with a laminated constitution folded in your back pocket. Each 7.62 round isn't merely ballistic, it's practically democracy itself hitting steel. You discuss battle rifles like wine connoisseurs discuss vintage Bordeaux. Anyone running 5.56 receives your sideways glance, as if they've personally insulted your grandfather's war record. Your range bag probably contains MREs, trauma shears, and a patch about liberating with prejudice. You've memorized the rifle's nickname and recite it with reverence. When shots miss, you blame either physics or communism, never your technique. Each trigger pull echoes with masculinity from an era when men smoked unfiltered cigarettes, drank black coffee at midnight, and secured strategic positions with nothing but grit and questionable dental work. Car 98K. Showing up with a Car 98K isn't bringing a gun, it's staging historical theater. You've purchased a German mechanical opera in bolt-action form. Each bolt cycle feels so smooth it deserves its own leather chair and aged scotch. Your trigger pulls don't fire rounds, they announce your presence to the historical record. Your rifle carries that unmistakable aroma of boiled linseed oil and historical significance. You spend more on rare European wood polish than others spend on ammunition quarterly. You casually mention battlefield pickup condition as if it's an achievement badge in an RPG. When you finally send a heavy slug down range, somewhere a vintage war film soundtrack spontaneously begins playing. The modern shooter with his carbon fiber and red dots will never understand your connection to wood and steel. You didn't come to shoot paper. You came to commune with ghosts. Everyone at the range secretly appreciates the atmospheric enhancement you've brought to their afternoon. CZ Bren 2. Selecting the CZ Bren 2 means embracing a tactical aesthetic that 99% of range visitors cannot comprehend. You've rejected mainstream AR clones for boutique expression. You've devoted evenings explaining why piston-driven systems are superior, and you'll spend countless more if someone dares whisper direct impingement within earshot. You wear tactical pants to family gatherings and discuss buffer spring tension like national security depends on it. Price, accessibility, and flashiness didn't drive your decision. You chose this platform because you believe in difficult path excellence. You're currently 3 optic swaps deep, have tried 6 sling configurations, and continue tinkering because tactical perfection remains eternally unattainable. Your gear isn't equipment. It's evolving artistic expression requiring constant refinement. When someone asks why you didn't just buy an AR like everyone else, you simply smile. They wouldn't understand your commitment to elevated firearms sophistication. Barrett M82A1. Owning a Barrett M82A1 means you're not merely a shooter, you're a walking apocalypse in cargo pants. You didn't visit the range to plinkett paper, you came to punch interdimensional portals from zip codes away. $5 per trigger pull? You call that therapeutic investment. Your single range session costs more than most people's monthly grocery budget. You don't flinch when dropping that behemoth onto the bench, causing Earth to shudder like it's remembering unpaid debts. Your smile grows wider every time someone 2 lanes down gets rattled out of their shoes by your muzzle blast. Your credit card weeps with each ammunition purchase, but you remain unfazed. You're the type using fast food coupons just to afford another magazine dump. You didn't choose Barrett because you needed it. You chose it because life's too short not to break sound barriers at suburban ranges. When you fire, clouds part, babies cry, and lesser firearms jam out of pure respect. Steyr AUG. Carrying a Steyr AUG means you haven't purchased a rifle, you've subscribed to tactical aesthetics as lifestyle, you claim it's about space efficiency, but deep down you wanted to look like a character from a cyberpunk action film. And frankly, you absolutely do. You advocate for bullpup ergonomics more passionately than crypto enthusiasts promote their latest investments. Your magazine collection required either questionable financial decisions or emotional sacrifices. Finding replacement parts demands international connections or property refinancing. Your dreams feature synthwave soundtracks and neon grid lines. You wear tactical sunglasses unironically and use ergonomic superiority in casual conversation like it's a love language. Your entire setup screams tactical innovation, yet somehow your reload times can't match the guy running a budget AR. The beautiful part? You couldn't care less. You know you're the main character and you look infinitely cooler performing every operation. Lee Enfield. Choosing a Lee Enfield establishes you as the undisputed authority on heritage and hard facts. You don't simply shoot, you reenact entire World War trench assaults with each magazine change. You demonstrate that legendary bolt cycling speed as if competing in a forgotten Olympic event, working that action so rapidly that nearby shooters look around for the vintage typewriter, making all that clacking. Historical references form your personality's backbone. Traffic jam. They had it worse at Dunkirk. You correct SML pronunciation with missionary zeal and consider sporterizing surplus rifles an unforgivable cultural offense. Your gun safe smells like beeswax, pipe tobacco, and the collective regret of every military that underestimated British engineering. When you miss targets, you blame atmospheric conditions that haven't been relevant since 1918. When you hit, you nod knowingly, as if confirming a century-old promise. You're not handling a rifle. You're maintaining tradition with enough operational speed to remain relevant today. Winchester 1873. The moment that Winchester 1873 touches your hands, ordinary Dave from accounting transforms into Sheriff Dave, frontier justice incarnate. You explain your purchase through carefully constructed arguments about historical significance while secretly practicing dramatic saloon entrances in your living room, wearing sneakers with your cowboy hat. Your Instagram features sepia-toned range photos captioned with phrases like "the last true rifleman." You refer to your firearm as a gentleman's repeater with ceremonial reverence while wearing cargo shorts, yet capable of smuggling enough tactical gear to supply a small militia. Missed shots receive a respectful hat tip. Successful hits prompt whispered phrases like, "Justice served." You manipulate that lever with theatrical flair, preparing for imaginary high noon showdowns. You're not shooting for score. You're shooting for the storyline, and in that narrative, you're unquestionably the protagonist, complete with imaginary soundtrack and invisible tumbleweed. HK91. Selecting an HK91 means entering a committed relationship with recoil challenges and embracing every punishing moment. You bypassed softer shooting options in favor of pure ballistic intensity. Each trigger pull represents a marriage proposal to discomfort, with ergonomics taking backseat to raw mechanical performance. You champion German engineering with greater enthusiasm than luxury car owners blocking fast lanes. You've accepted numerous associated costs. Components designed by apparent sadists, magazines that vanish from circulation faster than limited collectibles, and mounting solutions rivaling entry-level handgun prices. Your rifle doesn't eject brass, it launches it into trajectories that would interest NASA. When explaining your preference to confused onlookers, your statement that you wouldn't understand carries absolute truth. The guy with his AR platform will never comprehend your relationship with punishment and pride. You don't shoot, you endure, all while maintaining that knowing smirk that says, "This pain is worth it." SKS. Running an SKS proves that determination consistently outperforms technology. Your rifle bears marks of surviving multiple regime changes, natural disasters, and questionable storage solutions, yet you wouldn't trade it for anything with modern materials. Maintenance has been minimal, perhaps one cleaning during a past presidential administration using household chemicals, yet somehow it continues functioning flawlessly. That folding bayonet isn't an attachment, it's central to your identity. You deploy it whenever someone nearby extols the virtues of their expensive modular platform. You arrive carrying your rifle in something distinctly non-tactical, wearing practical footwear, yet consistently outshoot individuals who've invested fortunes into cutting-edge equipment. You consider detachable magazines unnecessary luxury and reload stripper clips with focused determination. Your rifle doesn't malfunction because it's transcended mechanical failure. It simply processes whatever ammunition you provide, regardless of quality, like a seasoned diner consuming comfort food. You're demonstrating resilience personified in mechanical form. Mosin-Nagant. If your heart belongs to the Mosin-Nagant, you entered a gun store with a $400 budget, smelled Cosmoline, and immediately felt at home. You didn't buy a rifle. You adopted a 9-pound historical artifact that moans like a haunted house with every bolt manipulation. You've mounted an affordable optic that included promotional stickers, zeroed it at a gravel pit, and now consider yourself auditioning for a historical war drama. You discuss your ammo stockpile like financial advisors discuss retirement portfolios, highlighting surplus purchases made at convenience store snack prices. At impressive distances, you fire ammunition manufactured during past Cold War tensions, posting results online while proudly declaring the rifle's continued effectiveness despite hitting only one target in 10. Your shoulder bruises are badges of honor. When shooting a Mosin, you're living a fantasy where maintenance patina builds character. Range time smells like diesel fumes, and every trigger pull might summon Stalin's ghost. Respect. M1 Garand. Walking in with an M1 Garand sets you apart. You arrive smelling like hops number 9 and pure patriotism. The iconic ping isn't just a sound, it's your ringtone, morning alarm, and possibly what you hope to hear at life's end. You shoot deliberately because you respect both steel and legacy. You're proud knowing your reload sound makes bald eagles misty-eyed. You bring surplus web gear to the range not from necessity but spiritual obligation. You wear OD green like second skin and showcase vintage canteens like they're designer items. You're unconcerned about weight, that's character development. You sling 30 out 6 rounds while making Gen Z wonder why their wrists hurt after 30 rounds. You consider modern rifles essentially cheating and declare it proudly. The young shooter with his polymer frame will never understand what real rifles feel like. The Garand isn't merely your preferred platform, it's your identity, far more substantial than what Instagram operators could comprehend. AR-15. If your go-to is the AR-15, you're in permanent tinkerer mode. You don't own one, you possess 6 uppers, 4 lowers, 24 optics, and a workbench full of almost completed project guns. You spend more time building than shooting. Components receive torque specs from forum threads, and range conversations begin with, "Bro, check this build." Your Cerakote jobs outshine vape conventions, and your sling setup costs more than your truck tires. You've got backup irons for your backup irons, an LPVO, magnifier, and a light powerful enough to melt polar ice caps, none properly zeroed. You call this future-proofing. You don't shoot for groups, you shoot to showcase configurations. You're 3 magazines into adjustments and 1 round into needing recalibration because the wind shifted. Despite these quirks, we love you because when zombies appear, you'll lead the convoy with a rifle weighing 40 pounds from attachments alone. AK-47. Slinging an AK-47 means carrying more than a rifle. You're embracing generational resilience while rejecting precision obsessions. You distrust optics, fancy furniture, and modern modifications. You trust only raw steel and engineering so stubborn it survives nuclear winters, 3 divorces, and house fires. Cosmoline remains in unreachable places, which you consider a feature, not a bug. You brag about not cleaning it like CrossFit enthusiasts brag about not stretching. You call AR-15s Barbie guns with the disgust Texans reserve for vegetarian barbecue. True rifles don't need lubricant, despite magazines rusted tighter than jars from 1947. When jams occur, they sometimes do, you clear with a boot strike and continue firing like nothing happened. You're unconcerned with match accuracy or MOA groups, you focus on survival. Your practical approach suggests you'll likely outperform the competition when conventional systems eventually fail. The AK isn't just your rifle, it's your survival philosophy made manifest. If you enjoyed this video, smash that subscribe button like you hit the range, with purpose and precision. Ring that notification bell so you don't miss new content dropping faster than brass at a rapid-fire drill. Jump into the comments and tell me which rifle personality I nailed perfectly or which one I missed completely. Until next time, keep your groupings tight and your opinions tighter.